Locate existing motor brackets on your outboard engine. Remove existing nut and washer from top motor bracket bolt. Determine where to drill your TurboSwing holes using the base plate as a guide. Leave 1 or 2 holes in between the original and new bolts. Ensure you have enough space and access inside the transom for your bolts to be inserted. Use a measuring tape as a guide. Drill your hole directly through the existing motor bracket hole using a 12mm or 1/2 inch drill bit. Be sure the drill bit is long enough to go all the way through the transom. Add sealant, non-PVC or non-silicone, into the newly drilled hole and around the opening inside the transom to ensure a tight seal. Manually insert the M12 by 120 bolt with a washer into the hole through the transom. Remove excess sealant from the bolt. Put the correct TurboSwing base plate over the 2 bolts. Insert nut and washer, tighten securely to the engine's manufacturer's recommended torque. Now install the original nut and washer from the motor bracket bolt and tighten firmly to engine manufacturer's recommended torque. Repeat steps for other side. Piece together the M8 by 50 bolt with the grooved locking nut onto the TurboSwing tube holder. Where you position the grooves on the nut and tube holder will determine the height of the TurboSwing. We recommend positioning these teeth at the highest position possible to allow maximum rope clearance. This can be adjusted later before finishing the installation if needed. Important: make sure the teeth on the locking nut are properly aligned with the grooves on the tube holder and it is firmly tightened. Position the black friction plate on top of the tube holder assembly. Using an M12 by 50 bolt, secure the tube holder to the base plate and tighten using a locking nut. Be sure not to over tighten. The tube holder will need to pivot when the motor is trimmed up. Repeat steps for the other side. With the bar laying on a level surface, put the pulley onto the bar and loosely attach one of the black stoppers on each side of the bar. Be sure not to tighten too much, as these will need to be adjusted later. Trim motor up to allow room for the bar to be inserted into the tube holders. Lift the bar and insert into the tube holders on either side. Trim your motor down as far as possible without the motor hitting your trailer. Slide the pulley left and right to be sure that it cannot hit any part of the motor. If it does hit the motor, remove the bar and place it aside. Remove the tube holders on both sides and loosen the grooved locking nut that is aligned on the tube holder. Position the locking nut down a notch or 2 as needed and retighten. Be sure the teeth are properly aligned and tighten firmly. Make sure that you move both locking nuts to the same position. Reinsert the TurboSwing bar into the tube holders, making sure that the pulley does not hit the motor in any location. Turn the motor all the way to one side. With the motor turned, properly position the black stoppers so that the pulley will not hit the motor when tension on the rope is released. Tighten the existing stopper and add one additional stopper next to it. Make sure both stoppers are securely tightened and touching one another. Using a measuring tape, measure the stopper's position up the turbo swing. Ensure that both sides match and that the stoppers are located in the same position. Trim the motor up slowly and make note of where the motor hits the turbo swing. Attach included black pad to the motor on the point of contact with the swing to protect it from scratches. If the motor does not hit the turbo swing at all, you do not need to attach this pad. Also, if the turbo swing does not come in contact with the motor when trimmed, feel free to further tighten the bolts, attaching the tube holder to the base plate. Complete your turbo swing install by inserting the M8 by 45 bolt and special M8 with I bolt on either side of the bottom of the turbo swing tube. It does not matter which one goes on which side. The special M8 with IN bolt can be used to secure the pulley when trailering by using a bungee cord. If the swing is going to be removed frequently, feel free to use carabiners in place of these bolts to allow for easy removal.